Sophie Morrow. I have had an interest in sailing for a few years now. I've met a lot of interesting people along the way who have helped shape my love of sailing.
My name's Brian Munson. I have been sailing since I was a boy, a very long time now, probably more than 45 years. I sail out of Killalay because it's a friendly club. It's Strangford Lough, and Strangford Lough is a wonderful location to sail, and I've been sailing here for the last 11 years.
I'm Rob, been a member of Killalay Yacht Club for about 3 years, and this is my boat Lauren. I've been sailing for probably about 20 years, but there's been a big gap, so I've just got back into it in the last 3 or 4 years.
This boat's called Elska. She's about 40 years old, a westerly longbow. She's 32 feet long, and she's very well set up for cruising, but she's not the fastest boat in the fleet. When the boat's out of the water, there's always an awful lot of work to do, particularly when it's an old boat like this. So there's a lot of painting, anti-fouling and sanding, but I also do things like service the engines, and every year we try and upgrade something on the boat so that the boat maintains its modern aspect.
Taking care of a boat is a really in-depth thing. It takes a lot of time and money, and sometimes you wonder whether it's worth doing, but once the boat's back in the water, it really is worth doing. So far in this boat behind us, we've just been sailing around the loch and up the north coast, but hopefully this year we'll plan to go a little bit further afield, and one day maybe be able to sail down and around the south coast.
I race quite regularly. Not so much in this boat, but I race with other people, either in squibs or in some of the cruisers that are based here in Killalay.
My favourite thing about sailing is being able to be free and go wherever you want. And I like the sailing part because you don't rely on any engine, it's just freedom and free power.
Early this year, I got to experience sailing on the high seas by spending a week on board the tall ships. My crewmates and I helped sail the vessel Channel 2 under the watchful eye of the skipper.
It was a good week, and it was tough, fairly intensive in terms of the programme we had to stick to. In the end, everything worked out really nicely in terms of the weather and the tides, and as I say, it was a full-on week, so everyone had to really get stuck in the whole time. We had early mornings, didn't we, late nights, and departing and arriving at all sorts of different times, time off all over the place, and lots of other things to get through, like the competent crew. So it was a really intensive week, and it worked really well because the crew all pulled together and decided they were on board with the idea of cracking on with it all. Everyone got stuck into it and really worked hard, and that made it relatively easy for myself. It was a really good week, but really rewarding at the same time, and we made it back, and we only had rain for 20 minutes. Well, we had some beginners, we had quite a few beginners on board, and I think something like this, the trip we've just done is one of our sort of more intermediate to challenging ones. So it is adventurous and it is challenging. We do some slightly easy ones if people aren't so much aware, if they're not so up for the challenge maybe, that might be a good place to start. But if you don't mind and you're up for a bit of pushing yourself and a bit of cracking on, then there's certainly no reason not to do the voyage we've just done.
This trip was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, travelling across seas unlike before, making memories that will stick with me forever.